Oh, don't. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got that too. I got this. I got that. I got it all. HFR from the floor. Bobby Heff, the don't mistrade, resurrected. He's back. Matt Davio. Good morning, Matt.
2 resurrections in 12 hours on top of it.
Unreal. Matt's dog Rudy, who I'm sure you all know from his social media postings, looked like he was down for the count, but Rudy's like a cat. 9 lives in Rudy.
I mean,
Matt, I bet you're wondering where I got these sexy sunglasses.
I'm wondering what WAP store you went to.
Listen, Sam Giancana. That's all I got to say.
As a fellow Vol named WAP myself.
Sam Giancana. Matt, we got breaking news. Breaking news. Let me share the screen because yesterday I shared with you some great Chicago Bear 1985 Bear defense highlights. And the fridge, obviously, a rookie then. And you said there's a new fridge. And here he is, 6'6" and 3/8. Like, why do they got to give us the 3/8 of an inch? Like, I mean, if I get my tape measure out, listen, I've never cut anything within 3/8 of an inch
accuracy
in my life. But anyway, 6'6", 341. And let's just watch this boy move. Well, they're telling me he's got excellent awareness. Listen to me. This is like a freight. I mean, are you kidding me? I guess the stats are, Matt, that he did it. Whoa. He's got excellent awareness. He did it in 4.78 40-yard dash with a 1.68 10-yard split. And that's the big one. Like, how fast is he moving down the line and planting the linebacker? Or I don't know, what does he play? What a defensive tackle.
He's a defensive line. He's defensive line. He's Georgia. So he was the reason why
10-yard split.
He was the reason why Michigan couldn't run, move the ball, do anything. I mean, and they had it. And on the other side, you had a guy that was maybe 20 pounds less or more. I don't even remember. Who was also, top 10. Like, what a monster.
That's the wrong one. We're going to come back to that one. But here it was, Matt. Yes, my system resources are low. Tell me something I don't know. Somebody shared yesterday the emotional response of men and women trading. And there were 3 pictures of women in various fetal poses crying about losing trades. And then there's this guy, the typical man when he loses still. And Jimmy Jude said, I may be this prick. And then he says, so when I turn 60, I'm going to look like this at all times. And when people ask who wears sunglasses inside, I tell them blind people and assholes. Compliments of Larry David. Anyway, when I saw it, I was immediately reminded of Sam Giancana and Chicago's legacy of mob-related activities. Matt, the other thing Chicago related is political corruption. And we haven't talked about 30, 40 year, the Don of politics in Illinois, Mike Madigan, now 82, 86, and indicted for corruption. I got to tell you, Illinois is a great learning ground for political corruption and run by Democrats by and large. Anyway, I don't know where you want to go with that, but
you want to talk about Hillary? You want to talk about
the Barack?
Barack? Who do you want to talk about? You want to talk?
I don't want to talk about any of them, Matt. The market getting a little pump here, and the only thing I could see newsworthy or newswise was that the Ukraine has said in their meetings with Russia that NATO affiliation is no longer needed for them. I guess pounding your cities with rockets will do that.
Well, and maybe that's one way of getting them to de-escalate also. I mean, there could be a little chess move behind that, Bob, where they got nobody's got their back. at NATO, so maybe you better ceasefire, right?
Well, I mean, don't you think that's part of has been part of the negotiations? Like, where are they?
Right.
And more importantly, and this goes to a longer term thread, Matt. Both of us follow and read Marty Armstrong, Armstrong Economics, and his longer term model pivots to China being the dominant player on the world stage in a decade or so from now, correct?
Yeah, but by the time it's 32, 33, it will no longer be New York. I mean, that's,
and I think important that you see, Biden saying we're not going to buy Russian oil. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're going to ship all their energy and all their food to China. And if you don't see that, you ain't looking very hard. Anyway, Matt, we got to do some sort of price discovery. Think gold made a new all-time high today. The gold bugs are chirping and cheering. And I don't know how gold withstands a continued rally if this thing resolves itself in the next week or two.
Well, gold made a new high, as did wheat. I sent that to you last night when wheat reopened. Let's start there because I think that's kind of interesting. And we'll start with crude, actually. But crude, again, it was climbing last night. It tested the high, but didn't quite get to that 130.61 that we saw on Sunday night. And it has fallen off also. So again, ran up here to 129 this morning when the equities were down, has reversed. So again, the algos are in charge here. They're buying the equities. They're selling, they're selling crude. They're selling wheat, etc. Let me bring up the wheat chart because then we'll get to gold, which I know you started with. I'm a little discombobulated, but I got a resting 14-year-old Springer Spaniel who I thought had a stroke last night. And apparently dogs at this age can randomly get vertigo and nobody knows what causes it. The doctors don't know. They call it like idiotic something. And she's like, yeah, because nobody knows what it means. Like, okay. So here's what's interesting.
Let me just tell you something. In today's day and age, I think I'd rather go see my vet than my doctor.
So wheat, as we speak, Bob, is down 10%. That's the top. I mean, if you can't see that, I don't know what else to tell you, but
and plenty of time to get spring wheat in the ground.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a blow off here to sell, and it's been down. Right, we washed right away, came up, test, it's done. Like that's three times my lady. Kind of like what we're seeing the action in the SPOOs and the NASDAQ this morning. It's interesting that you can almost see the same chart, but in reverse when it comes to the NASDAQ. And the NASDAQ, let me just bring that up real quick, is now 655 parabolic, right? We can't see it unless we go to the short-term look. Absolutely parabolic through yesterday's value range, above today's value range, bullish. And now we're running into Sunday's. I guess this would be Friday's value range. So that's the next level here. It's 750 or so, Bob, and we're at 650. But the thing that you and I talked about, if you just look at the 2-day chart, that it's first got to get above kind of 680 to go to 740, 750 when it comes.
And then why wouldn't it fill the? We've been waiting for this ceasefire peace agreement rally, and how far it goes, who knows? But I certainly think. Oversold bear market rallies are vicious, and this is one. I mean, we're already up. We kind of tested. We didn't get to the low. We said 13,000 need to be tested. It got to 13,106 or so twice, though, 3 times, 1, 2, and 3 off the open. So it was very violent on the open, and thankfully I was in the ER for the doc. I was in the doggy ER, so I was missing all this chop, which was good. I probably would have been. Thank you, Rudy. Thank you, Rudy.
And then I did get long in the ER right around 150, 160, when it broke that line there. So I did, I would have tried it a couple times. I would have tried it there. I would have tried it here. I would have tried it here. And I probably would have made a little bit of money, but then I would have caught, I caught this one and I ended up selling most of it in the 550 area. Now we're up to almost 670. So there you go. 666, imagine that. 13,666 was the high so far today. And again, as you get, here's the top of value, 685. So we're almost there. And it's parabolic, put up the ladder, shoot some ladders. Today's a ladder day. Yesterday was a shoots day, straight down. Yesterday's high was 880. So here's some more references for you, right? Yesterday's high was 880. So it's not, it's not super bullish on a daily chart yet. But there's still plenty of time in the day, Bob. There's still 3 hours left in the day. So let's come back to gold, which is where you started. And by the way, that wheat high was a brand new high too. It was an all-time high. So a lot of work was being done again on these overnights, trapping people, right? People that are chasing this stuff now. It's like too late to chase. And gold, kind of the same thing. It came back here. Was that a high? I thought it was like 2080, but
I just saw that as a tweet. If Market
it
Vitals on the stream.
No. I didn't think it got there, and we didn't. 2091 was the high all time, and we did not get there. So, and now you look at a 3-minute chart. It's not pretty. Like it needs to hold here at 2015 or so, and it's at 2032 right now. Just coming back into value though. So that's on the 1-day chart. So 1 day's bullish, 2 days bullish. Obviously, 2 day, we've been bullish for a while, but this is not a new move. Remember, this started from, I want to say 1780. That was January. So as the market late January started to sell off more, gold finally, and this is when, the regulars started noticing inflation. So that has taken off. But what's left now, if gold and oil and wheat and everything is done here, which they might be interim, and the equities rally, this will come off again. So your gold bugs will get tarnished again, but it's all in the close. Huge move though. Again, 1780 up here, 300 points, Bob. That's what is that? Almost a 20% move in less than a month and a half. So it's awfully parabolic for sure.
All right, man. Let me share. I have to share at least once a day, the ridiculousness of this world, and nothing said it more than this for me that I saw yesterday. Did you see this one? This is the Ukraine cabinet minister announcing wartime economy and one-off payments to citizens because of the war. But there's a caveat. You have to get vaccinated to get the war relief. I mean, at this point, it seems to me the world is in like season 9 of a binge-worthy thing that should have ended at it was binge-worthy up to season 3, right? And now we're season 9 of the most ridiculous narratives. It's peak what the fuck. That's what I said anyway. It's peak. We're in the middle of a war. Let's go to the war room. Let's go to the cabinet minister. Oh, listen, citizens, the war has really disrupted your life, and we're going to pay. We're going to authorize payments, but you got to get vaccinated. We're going to set up the Vax clinic next to the check writing clinic. You go get jabbed, you get the check. Is this normal warring activity? Is my question. Is it normal in wartime?
And how come Putin's not doing the same thing? Again, when you look at the alliances and the allegiances, Ukraine, U.S., and the rest of the world, and then, I mean the whole, yeah. I mean, I don't even want to talk.
It gets even better too, because they actually have a ministry for digital transformation in the Ukraine. Let that sink in. Digital transfer. We brought up the GIF yesterday of the barcode and people becoming a barcode. It's unbelievable. Matt, please share Moderna's stock because they are surely trying to save it. In places far and wide.
Well, so this morning it actually gapped down further, another new low, 122. And by the way, the low back here was 117. That was April of last year. So 117 to 500, full round trip back to 122. Right-sided. Is that a safe
side fulfilled?
Safety.
I'm really sick of season 9.
Safety.
I am sick of season 9 of Earth.
So yeah, I mean, Moderna's up 8% today because everything else is up. I mean, again, it's just the same thing. The waves wash together. I mean, look at this move. It just moved entirely with the rest of the market. And this is why I said, if you want to trade stocks, just follow the futures. So just trade the futures and take it easy right now, because stocks aren't necessarily bottoming. They're just doing what the futures are doing, and everything runs together. And don't think you're brilliant for picking any of the old momentum names, because if we go through this chart, I pretty much can tell you everything that is running is what has run multiple times, right, during this ongoing season 9 of COVID nasty reality show, whatever it is.
I'm gonna work on the title of it.
Yeah, I mean, Berkshire's up 1.5%, $5,800. You got Bitcoin rallying today, up 3.5%. I'm just going through the gainers here real quick. Nasdaq obviously up 320 points net, and that's actually 550 points from the low, Bob. 560 is where that is. Ether obviously is up. Google's running through the moon. I know Amazon is green. It was red early on the start of the day, plunged, made another new low. Google's up 3.5%. Bear market rally, right? We came, kind of to an area where we were oversold, and now we're retracing it. And when you just start looking at these things, anything can happen. But Amazon is up 50. It was at 2,700 this morning. I know it got down to 26.71. It actually plunged another new low, and it's below like the range that we've been talking about for how long. Right, but it keeps breaking it and coming back into it. So this thing, it's still not dead. That's the crazy thing. Let's take a look at this, because Amazon to me is really a bellwether for the market. We went up 3 times over, four maybe, and now we've gone 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th time below this line, but we've been locked in this, Bob, for a long time. I want to just see. I bet you it goes back. This goes back to the summer of 20. This is June of 20 when we entered this zone. So again, a lot of time spent in here, and we couldn't get above it, obviously, for more than a day or two. And we really haven't stayed below it that long. So I don't know what that's telling us, except for it's definitely overvalued, but continues to hang in right now. Point of control is back here at 1,800. And I do think we will trade back to that at some level. If you look at, and what happened, by the way, did the Russian exchange open today? Again, I've been in the ER all morning since 2 a.m. dealing with a sick dog. I don't know. Did it open? I have no idea, because I don't have live quotes, so I can't tell you, Bob.
I don't know either,
because I don't trade Russian.
No
stuff.
Rusky exchange from Lee. Thank you, Lee. We got a crack back office here at Market Vitals, and don't think that we don't pay everybody well here. The bottom of the well. Matt, he's Lee.
The RSX, which is the VanEck Russian ETF, is dragging along the bottom. It's down 2.5%, 14 cents today, but not making that low as held at 494. That's really all I can tell you. So obviously not much has changed there.
Well, even if there's my thought is, even if there's a peace accord, a ceasefire, it may be a while before that market can recapture any strength.
When do they get their boats back?
I don't know. Let me share. Lee asked about spider put, and because there's really good nuance here on the weekly, and you talk about bear market rallies, and there is a ton of room. And this is the spider. S&Ps I could bring up, but Lee asked for the spiders. I'm particularly interested, again, this week, this month, incredibly important long term. And I could actually see on ceasefire, peace agreement type narratives that we put in a doji week, close this thing up somewhere around that where it opened around 432. And then when you look at the weekly, it's pretty clear. Like if this is an hourly, I would love to sell 449s, love to sell 465s, and any close above 465 for sure. You cannot be short this thing. But bear markets, just like the bull market had pullbacks, bear markets are going to have rallies. I'm still, staying true to the thought that the slope is the most important. And so as long as these slopes stay negative and we respect the average and that first above level going forward, obviously a large amount of price discovery in that range, but that's still how I'm looking at it, Matt. So we'll see how the week plays out. Who says that they don't announce a peace accord or whatever. We have a vicious rally, and then they give it away on Friday, Thursday, Friday. I mean, you know, the key is the end of the week. Closes are important on whatever time frame you're looking at, and we are just here, not even in the middle of the week yet. So
no, and we haven't even taken out the Monday high. So remember the Monday high is right here at 880 in the Nasdaq. So you know, nothing has changed. That's the thing. You can have a huge rally and still things haven't changed, and that's the perspective you really need to have. That you better be looking at kind of wider timeframes right now when you trade. I think the longer term money is in charge. Would you agree with that?
absolutely, and not only that, but the longer term money, when they try to move, even if it's a shredder order filling system. I mean, you see it. You just see these whooshes, and to me, that is somebody with a larger order trying to get some sort of volume taken out or committed, one way or the other.
Some type of edge, some type of, yeah, like you said, yeah.
Anyway, you know, Matt, that's life during wartime. Who did that? Talking Heads?
Don't know that one. I guess possibly. Sorry, Bob. I'm not too.
Matt's sure. On fumes, folks. We're gonna have to let him go. Last thoughts, Matt.
Well, you know, let's look at the 2-day. You know, so you can't. I keep telling you, the longer term's in charge, right? So let's just look at the 2-day. Even on the 2-day, the longer term is in the 2-day. Is still like, don't buy this market, right? Would you agree with that? Until we get over yesterday's high, it's hard to say all bets are off to the downside. You know, all we've done is come back to the balance. That's right where we are right now. And it's hard, you know, for me, it's hard to get seriously bullish right now. Like, to your point, we can go up. We can, you know, we just went up 500, almost 600 points. We went up 560 points, and it took less than an hour. The bottom here was 8:30, and by the time we maybe a little longer than an hour, 8:30 to 10 o'clock. So an hour and a half, algo, whatever you want to call it, took us up, and is now struggling. Like, we're struggling here, Bob.
Crazy markets, man. Crazy markets. All right, Matt, listen, let's call it. Let's call it. You had a long night. We got a lot of trade in front of us today. Please, Talking Heads. There we go. Lifetime warring time. Anyway, please visit at marketvitals.io. Please share, retweet, plagiarize the broadcast as far and wide as you will. And be disciplined, trade disciplined, mind the mo, know your levels, know those value range high, lows, points of control, all of those things, so important. Matt, thank you so much. And I'm glad to hear that Rudy is still on 4 legs.
Yeah, I wish I could show him. He's just resting, you know. I've never heard of dogs having vertigo. I just have never heard of anything like that. And randomly, 2 a.m, he's, you know, hyperventilating, doesn't know what to do. And then he jumps off. Linda Blair pukes all over my floor in my bedroom. Then walks into the living room. The
full Linda Blair?
Full Linda Blair. Like it got on the dresser. It was projectile.
Oh, the worst.
And then he walks into the living room where he's like leaning all left, and he collapses, and then he stands up again, gets his balance, and pisses all over the carpet out there. What a morning. Now we're at 2:45. I take him outside, and he pukes 3 or 4 more times, and then there's like falling down. I'm like, oh my God, he's having a stroke. He's dead. His head starts doing this. His head's doing this. His eyes are going wah, wah, wah. I'm like, oh, he's done. Like, he needs to be put out to pasture. And he's right here.
Not just yet, the rude man. All right, Matt, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate your caring and your prayers. Appreciate it as always.